Have you ever had that feeling that you just want to press pause, go off the grid for a bit, and then come back as a completely different person? Well, today we're going to break down a framework for doing exactly that. This is the 90-day blueprint for a total personal transformation. So the whole idea here is actually inspired by a story we all know. Think about Bruce Wayne. He didn't just become Batman overnight. After his parents died, he left everything behind. He went to this remote monastery deep in the mountains and just worked on himself. He learned to fight, to endure, to become something more. That whole process, that is what made him Batman. Okay, but let's be real. Most of us can't just pack up and move to a monastery in the Himalayas, right? We've got jobs, we've got families, we have real-world responsibilities. So the big question is, how do you get that same level of intense focus without completely abandoning your life? And this, right here, is the answer. This is the core principle. You don't escape your life to find the mountain. You build the mountain, that environment of total focus and discipline, right where you are. You create your own personal monastery to rebuild yourself from the inside out. This whole structured process has a name. It's called monk mode. And it's designed as a 90-day sprint, a very specific, dedicated window of time for intense self-improvement. So what exactly is monk mode? Well, just like the slide says, it's about shutting out all the noise. For 90 days, you're intentionally getting rid of the distractions, the gossip, the endless chatter, so you can become totally immersed in your own mission. It's your personal monastery, your escape from Gotham. And what's so powerful about this is the trade-off you see right here. You're not just taking things away, you're actively replacing them with things that build you up. So you cut out the distractions, alcohol, video games, whatever, and you install these non-negotiables. The two big ones are 30 minutes of exercise and 15 minutes of meditation every single day. But you can also add your own personalized habits that align with your goal. Now, here's a key rule. Keep it simple. The recommendation is to stick to a total of just 3 to 6 non-negotiables. And you might be wondering, why so few? Well, it's because if you try to do more than that, your chances of staying consistent just plummet. The goal here is relentless focus, not to burn yourself out with a laundry list of new rules. And believe me, when they say non-negotiable, they mean it. This isn't about doing it only when you feel motivated. The discipline here has to be absolute. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're tired, if you're sad, if your day was awful. You get it done. Period. That's the level of commitment that truly forges change. Okay, so once you've got the rules of monk mode locked in, the real work starts. And the first thing you have to focus on is internal. It's time to build the foundational pillars of your new identity. And you might be surprised where this begins. The very first pillar is your self-perception. And one of the quickest, most effective ways to change how you see yourself is to change how you present yourself. Your style. It sounds simple, but it has a massive impact on your mindset. You know that feeling when you walk out of the barbershop with a perfect haircut? You just feel untouchable, right? Like you can take on the world. Well, that feeling is exactly what this is about. It's not a coincidence. When you know you look good, your confidence skyrockets. And when you feel that confident, you just perform better. All right, so you're looking the part. The next piece of the foundation is about building real self-belief. And this isn't about repeating affirmations in the mirror. No, this is about proving to yourself, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that you are strong. And you do that with a tangible, physical challenge. And it has to be something concrete, something with a clear beginning and end, like training for and running a marathon, or stepping into the ring for your first boxing match, or completing a ridiculously tough high rocks race. It has to be a real-world event with a real-world outcome. And why is that so critical? Because you can't lie to yourself about finishing a marathon. You can't fake your way through 3 rounds in a boxing ring. You either put in the work and did it, or you didn't. There's no gray area. And this rewires your brain to understand that true results are based in reality, not just in how you feel. That shift in mindset is an absolute game changer. All right, so your internal foundations are getting stronger. Now let's talk about the external tools you need. Just like Batman, you need resources to actually execute your mission. It's time to acquire your arsenal. Let's face it, Bruce Wayne's mission would have been pretty tough without his fortune. And in the same way, you can't reach your full potential if you're constantly stressed about money. That's why the next step is focusing on what are called income-producing activities. You have to remove that financial anxiety to free up your mental energy for the bigger mission. So what does this look like in practice? It means learning a high-value skill, something you can actually sell. We're talking about things like copywriting, video editing, web design, sales, skills you can learn from anywhere and use to directly increase your income and get rid of that financial stress.
Now, to do this, you might have to completely change how you think about money. A lot of us have this belief that high earners are just, geniuses or that they were born with some special gift. But that's just a limiting belief. The truth is much simpler. They just know something that you don't. Yet, it's not about talent, it's about a knowledge gap.
And it all boils down to this incredibly powerful idea: earning differences are just learning differences. That's it. Once you truly get that, you stop seeing other people as special. They just focused on learning a specific skill set. And that reframes the whole challenge, right? Financial success isn't some gift from the gods. It's a direct result of focused learning.
Okay, we need to talk about what's going to keep you going when this whole thing gets really, really hard. Because trust me, it will. You need something deep, something unshakable to hold on to. You need to find your anchor.
So, what gets you through those brutal days when you're tired, you're sore, and you just want to quit? The single most powerful motivator you can have is a promise you make to someone you love. It's almost like a cheat code for motivation. We are just biologically wired to do way more for other people than we'll ever do for ourselves. And this story just illustrates it perfectly. The creator of this framework, Iman Gaji, shares his own experience. When he was just 14, he made a promise to his single mom that one day he'd buy her a dream house with a Range Rover in the driveway. And even though she was skeptical, that promise became the fuel for everything he did. And 10 years later, he fulfilled that exact promise down to the last detail. That promise was his anchor. So, you've done it. You've entered monk mode, you've built your pillars, you've acquired your arsenal, and you've found your anchor. You put in the hard work for 90 days. So the big question is, what's the result? What happens on the other side? If you're feeling fired up and ready to start, here are your first 3 moves. Super simple. Number 1, get a pen and paper and actually plan this thing out. Write down your non-negotiables, your physical event, and that promise you're going to make. 2, set your dates, a clear start and end date, and take it seriously. And finally, number 3, once that start date hits, you don't look back. You commit 100%. The whole point of a blueprint like this is to make you unrecognizable. Not just to other people, but more importantly, to yourself. The goals that used to feel like your ceiling, they're about to become your new floor. So the only real question left to ask yourself is this: 90 days from now, who are you going to be?